A major shakeup in TNA wrestling as Gail, Kim, and other senior figures have been fired by the company. We'll let you know all the details and the email that was sent out to officials this evening. Former AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May's contract with AEW is reportedly set to expire in the summer. Ryan Nemeth's Twitter bio implies he was sued by a billionaire this weekend as his lawsuit against AEW, Tony Khan, and CM Punk continues. MJF reportedly is not planned to reform the Dynasty as part of the AEW storyline with the Hurt Syndicate. Swerve Strickland is still not cleared to wrestle due to the ruptured eardrum he suffered at Revolution. Warner Bros. Discovery reportedly is considering multi-hour AEW specials during the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, and Saraya, formerly known as Paige, is open to making a WWE return. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with some big developing news in TNA wrestling today regarding several major exits from the company as part of a major overhaul and shakeup. TNA Wrestling reportedly, according to Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select and many other outlets today, has sent out an email saying that Gail Kim, Ariel Scherner, Rob Kligman, and Michael Shuchenko are out of the company in a round of firings. The email reads as following, quotes, "Departing our leadership team are Ariel Scherner, Gail Kim, Rob Klingman, and Michael Shuchenko. A long-term Anthem employee, Ariel has played an important role in growing our Anthem properties from his work with Fight Network, and most recently his focus on TNA. Ariel has been instrumental in building our storylines and growing our audiences. Gail has had a long and storied career in TNA as both a champion wrestler and part of the TNA leadership team. Gail has been a powerful presence in our locker room, supporting our talent and their great performances. On the sales side, Rob Kligman departs as Chief Revenue Officer, and in digital, Michael Shuchenko will be departing the organization on April 30th. In addition to these leadership departures, we also say thank you and goodbye to Karen Clevert, Sebastian Destrange, Ronnie Glazer, and Raphael Morphy. Now, our company is built on the strength and dedication of our team, and these challenges do not diminish the value or the contributions of those affected," end quote. Now, as you can imagine, this has been seen as quite a surprise internally in TNA Wrestling. John Alba is reporting that he has spoken to several TNA Wrestling talents already who have expressed the shock over the departures of Gail Kim and Ariel Scherner specifically. In addition to that, several of the TNA talents that John Alba spoke with believe the departures today came from higher up in the company within Anthem. Of course, Carlos Silva took over as TNA president back in February, and some of the leadership was reshuffled as a result of that. Of course, we get any more details on the fallout, the reaction to all of this, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. Now, a big development here when it comes to Mariah May and her AEW future. Fightful Select has learned that a number of staff, wrestlers, and higher-ups in AEW believe that former AEW Women's World Champion Mariah May is in a contract year. Specifically, those that Fightful have spoken to in AEW believe that her deal is up in the summer. Now, Fightful have not learned if there are any option years attached to it, but one source in the company said they would be shocked if they weren't involved in the deal, as a deal this short is uncharacteristic for the push that May got. Now, Fightful are told AEW is looking to retain her regardless. Word of May's contract status has spread within AEW in recent weeks, following her AEW Women's World title loss to Toni Storm at AEW Revolution. Fightful say they've reached out to Mariah May and reps, but they did not have a comment. AEW does not comment on the contract statuses of talent. Sticking with AEW, and another development when it comes to the lawsuit involving Tony Khan, AEW, and CM Punk, of course, that was put there by Ryan Nemeth. Now, Ryan Nemeth has implied that he was sued the same day he made his off-Broadway debut. In February, Ryan Nemeth filed a lawsuit against AEW, Tony Khan, and CM Punk, alleging assault, breach of contract, breach of implied covenants of good faith, and fair dealing and intentional interference with prospective advantage. Obviously, there's the full lawsuit. We did a video on it. Be sure to check it out on the channel. AEW and Tony Khan recently filed a petition seeking to compel the lawsuit into arbitration. The petition also noted that AEW was looking to seal the contracts and move the lawsuit into private arbitration. Nemeth has now updated his X bio, and it reads, as you can see on the screen, "Raise your hands if you had a literal billionaire send someone to sue you 4 minutes before you walked on stage for your off-Broadway debut play this weekend." And he had the raising hand emoji. Now, Fightful Select reported in December 2024 that Nemeth submitted a complaint to numerous AEW executives that outlined a timeline of events that he says highlights an abuse, harassment, and threats he faced while working in AEW. Nemeth has been part of TNA Wrestling. Punk returned to WWE in November 2023 after AEW fired him in September of the same year following a backstage incident at AEW All In involving Jack Perry and Tony Khan. Now, there's a bit of an update here when it comes to MJF and his storyline with the Hurt Syndicate in All Elite Wrestling. Maxwell Jacob Friedman is currently not planned to reform one of his former factions in All Elite Wrestling in the near future. MJF was handed a Hurt Syndicate business card by MVP on the post-Revolution edition of AEW Dynamite, only days after MJF was defeated by Hangman Adam Page at the pay-per-view. How the program between the Hurt Syndicate and MJF will play out remains to be seen, but Friedman is not currently scheduled to reform the dynasty, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select has revealed. Sean Ross Sapp was asked on a Fightful Select Q&A, quote, "With MJF getting the business card from MVP, is there a chance MJF reaches out to Hammerstone and Holiday to reform the dynasty and go against the Hurt Syndicate?" Sean Ross Sapp answered, quote, "I asked about this and was told that's not the plan as of now, and those two are not signed to AEW. Richard Holiday and MJF formed the dynasty in early 2019 during their feud with the Hart Foundation in Major League Wrestling, with Alexander Hammerstone joining the group soon after. MJF left the faction in early 2020 after he finished up with MLW, and the stable ended up disbanding in 2022 when Holiday turned on Hammerstone. MJF has been a part of multiple factions in All Elite Wrestling, including the Nightmare Factory, Inner Circle, The Pinnacle. He was also one half of the popular Better Than You Bebe tag team of Adam Cole until Cole's heel turn at World's End 2023. Hammerstone is currently a free agent following his recent departure from TNA. Richard Holiday is also a free agent and wrestled across the UK Indies from mid-February until early March. He has worked 2 matches for AEW, including a Rampage match in late 2024, which resulted in Rush and Dralistico having heat in the promotion after Dralistico attacked Holiday post-match while he was being checked by AEW's medical team. Now, sticking with AEW, let's talk about the former AEW World Champion and current number 1 contender for the World Championship, Swerve Strickland. AEW star Swerve Strickland is currently not able to compete due to the ruptured eardrum he suffered during his match with Ricochet at Revolution earlier this month. Strickland made an appearance at FSW's Benefit for Chris Bay show on Sunday night and cut a promo. He was originally scheduled to wrestle Kenny King on the show, but announced he was still not cleared to do so. After fans chanted "Whose House" at the former AEW World Champion, he encouraged them to chant "Bay's House" before saying in part about Bay, quote, "I listened to his interviews, I listened to him talking about the moment and his accident. Just hearing the fact he's still so upbeat, still so full of spirits, so full of passion for wrestling, that took something away from him, and he still wants to do something for it. He still wants to keep giving. I look forward to you eventually getting up and getting back in the ring and doing what you love. You're showing the world what your true passion is because you're getting stronger by the second. And trust me, when you're ready, I will be here for you." Now, Bay, who hasn't ruled out a return to wrestling, made an emotional appearance following the show's main event, in which he walked to the ring under his own power before thanking everyone in attendance. Now, Swerve missed the March 19th edition of AEW Dynamite due to his injury. He is still scheduled to challenge Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship at AEW Dynasty on April 6th. Of course, we'll be doing a watch-along and a post-show for that. Now, this is certainly an interesting story here when it comes to WBD having more specials in plan for AEW. AEW shifted its programming this past weekend with AEW Collision airing as 2 one-hour episodes on Saturday and Sunday following the NCAA tournament. According to Andrew Zarian on Beyond the Bell, Warner Bros. Discovery is willing to experiment with the AEW Dynamite and Collision schedule with the NHL playoffs coming up. Quote, "Spoke to someone a couple of weeks ago and they were telling me that these are experiments that Warner is willing to try," Zarian said. "College basketball takes precedence. The NBA All-Star Weekend takes precedence. Rather than cancelling the show, let's put it on in a different time slot and see if we could do something with it. Maybe you're going to attract different types of fans. We have another opportunity for this during the Stanley Cup, during the NHL playoffs, so listen, anything could change here." He continued, quote, "I heard from 2 sides from Warner during the Stanley Cup, there's going to be an opportunity to do something very big. The way that it was presented to me, it's a possibility of a 4-hour special happening or multi-hour. The idea is still soft. It could just be Dynamite on and then followed by a Collision, so a 4-hour block." Zarian noted that AEW has done 3-hour blocks in the past, with AEW Rampage airing after AEW Dynamite on certain occasions, or Battle of the Bouts airing after AEW Collision. Quote, "They're looking to do these more to see if they can do a large block of programming to make it feel special for TV, a pay-per-view level special for television," he said. Now, the NHL playoffs are set to begin shortly after the conclusion of the regular season on April 17th. TNT will air the NHL Stanley Cup Final, which begins in late May or in early June. And finally, could Saraya be on her way back to WWE? Now, during an ongoing AEW absence that began in October last year, Saraya has revealed that she is open to a WWE return. The former AEW Women's World Champion recently teased a potential WWE return, sharing lyrics from her previous entrance theme on social media. Add to this recent comments, which she stated she may not be in AEW to face Mercedes Moné. Saraya has been fueling speculation about a potential WWE comeback. Speaking on the Hall of Fame podcast, the former Page noted she absolutely would be open to making a WWE return if there was an opportunity to do something fun. Commenting on her wrestling future, Saraya said, quote, "Yeah, so I love WWE, and I don't have any negative feelings towards them. I mean, they raised me, they saved me a lot. I just appreciate them so much, and the idea of going somewhere else was only because of the potential of my brother being there. That was like the big thing. I just wanted him to be a success in wrestling, you know. I love WWE, and I would absolutely, if there was something that they needed from me, which was exciting, I would definitely go there. Yeah, absolutely. It would be silly not to. If there's an opportunity to do something fun, hell yeah, I'll jump on board." Now, Zack Knight, the brother of Saraya, departed AEW in early 2025 after his deal with the company expired. In September 2024, it was reported that Saraya had signed a one-year contract, having first appeared at the company's Dynamite Grand Slam back in 2022. Before debuting in AEW, Saraya was best known as Paige in WWE, having signed with the company in September of 2011. Her tenure in WWE saw her become the inaugural NXT Women's Champion and a two-time WWE Divas Champion. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.